guys, I am the CHALL, your channel for Doncaster Rovers content, and welcome to today's edition of the DRFC Daily Reports, bringing you the latest news, transfer activity, rumours, and also the latest stories surrounding Doncaster Rovers Football Club. Today we've got three massive stories. We've got some comments from Darren Moore about welcoming in the team again after a 10-day break for the Portsmouth match. We've also got a transfer story with the interest from Leeds Youth Academy prospect Robbie Gotts, with interest from Swindon and Huddersfield as well. And we're also going to be talking about some comments in the free press about a certain brand new right back at the club that's going to be joining at maximum next season, with the option to be recalled at some point this season. And in fact, speaking of that right back, we have him today. Charlie Seaman, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you very much. So we're going to be getting Charlie's thoughts on the comments, and we're going to be talking to him first of all about his performance. I saw your goal against Welling United for Maidstone. Great goal, and overall for the team, a great performance on Saturday.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it was a tough game, but I thought from minute 1 to 90, we were on top the whole game. I mean, we let in a sloppy goal, but other than that, they didn't really have many opportunities to score, and I thought we defended and attacked well throughout the game. So, yeah, it was a good result.
Yeah, it was a really good result. I saw Donny Rovers put the goal highlight on their Twitter. I retweeted it, so it'll be all over there for the world to see. So yeah, we're going to be talking to Charlie a little bit later in the show about the comments from Darren Moore about gelling into the first team. But before we get started, let's talk about our first two stories of the day. Now, the information from this article is from Football Insider's Wayne Vesey. Now, according to this particular article, Leeds United's young midfielder Robbie Gotts is a wanted man with 3 EFL sides looking to grab the young star on a season-long loan. These 3 clubs are Championship Huddersfield Town and League One's Swindon Town and Doncaster Rovers. And they're all said to be, according to Vesey, the sides with their eyes on the Leeds United prize. Bit of a tongue twister there. Referencing a Leeds source, Vesey writes that the EFL trio mentioned above all have registered their interest in taking Gotts for the rest of the season, with Leeds United at Bielsa's behest preferring to run with a pared-down squad. Opportunities for youngsters Gotts would be limited at Ellen Road. So here is a little bit of stats about Robbie Gotts. He hails from Harrogate, so he's a Harrogate-born boy, so I think Harrogate will be very proud of Robbie Gotts for getting this opportunity at an EFL club, especially with his hometown Harrogate being in the Football League now as well. Now, he's been well thought of in the academy setup at Leeds United over at Ellen Road. Now, last season he was the academy's player of the year, and he made his first team debut in both the FA Cup and the Championship, of course, that season when Leeds United did eventually gain promotion. So that, my friends, was a big story there from Robbie Gotts, the Leeds United youth. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm really excited about this guy. I've seen highlights of him, I've seen stats of this guy, I've seen other people comments on this guy. I'll tell you back to that report from the Free Press, I think weeks and weeks ago now. This is before the international transfer deadline that doesn't even concern us. I said that from the report that the main positions Darren Moore was looking at was a holding midfielder and a right back. We've got the right back, Charlie Seaman. He's out on loan to Maidstone. Well done for scoring in that game, Charlie. Much appreciated to see you grow as a player and a developing star against Welling United on Saturday. And also, that it just leaves that holding midfield position. And I think with the performances of Gomez, and I think Whiteman definitely showed flair and showed work ethic in the Oldham defeat. But I think Gomez was average at best in that game. He wasn't very good against Wigan either. So I think that there needs to be extra options just in case people get injured, people get suspended, people get pulled up for international duty. If Magic Gomez gets pulled up for Spain for for some reason, there needs to be extra options in that midfield to play around with. Especially with Richards, a good young up-and-coming English player. So, there's got to be options there. And I think extra squad in depth that's just as strong as the first team is just as important. And I think when we're looking on the basis of it, I think someone like a Robbie Gotts would be perfect for this side. He is an exciting talent. He's definitely one for the future. And I definitely think that we could develop him. I think with our reputation with Premier League loanees and developing them further, I really think that we've got a good reputation that puts us in front of the other two clubs. Now, Swindon, I think they've already got a good midfield, a good mix of youth and experience. So I think that maybe, even though they've put interest in, maybe their interest won't take further. And looking at the Championship team, Huddersfield, if we beat them to the signing, not only that will show that we've beaten to a Championship side, we have also got better recruiters than Huddersfield. I mean, to be fair, it's not even about having best recruiters. It could be just where the player wants to go, because they're both Yorkshire rivals, so they can't be one after the other, because I think a Yorkshire rival would not be a good fit for a Leeds player. But now they're both Yorkshire rivals, as well as Swindon, you've got the option there of the two, because I don't think Swindon will be front race for them. So I think it's between us and Huddersfield. And looking at that guy's talents, could you imagine him sitting where Richards is? Or if Gomez is on the bench, put Richards where Gomez was as a holding midfielder, or play with Whiteman as a holding midfielder and have two attacking playmakers in Richards and Gotts in front of Whiteman as a midfield three. That would be, the right way to go. And then push the wingers from the wide midfield position more forward, whether it's Taylor and Coppinger on the left and right, when the Kilo comes back, when Tulloch comes back, then you've got more, then the wingers are more forward. They can track back, and you've got the back forward, the full-backs to support from the back and then to pull back from the front. So that in kind of like a 4-3-3, it's not really taking away from the 4-2-3-1. It's just like a variation of the 4-2-3-1 that looks like a 4-3-3 more than a 4-2-3-1, but you'd still count it as a 4-2-3-1. So, in some way you could work the 4-2-3-1 into a more of an attacking 4-3-3, and that shows a nice fluent transition from a 4-2-3-1 when defending into a 4-3-3 when attacking. And then you can just get back into that shape. The attacking midfielder puts more forward, the people behind it, so whether it's Richards or Gotts and Whiteman, push back to defend, back four, push back, wingers push back, and then push forward again into that 4-3-3. So I think that could be something that Darren Moore could be looking at if we bring this guy in, because I think he is quite a good holding midfielder, but he can also play as an attacking playmaker. So I think that we've got a really good midfielder here in Robbie Gotts if we can get this guy in on loan, and I think they'd be a good signing for the club. So moving in then to our next story, and this one comes from Darren Moore, and this is about him welcoming the 10-day break because of the postponement of the Shrewsbury match to get the squad ready after those back-to-back defeats for the Portsmouth match in the league at Fratton Park next weekend. So according to the Free Press, Darren Moore has made it clear to his Doncaster Rovers players that the hard work will only increase in their 10-day break from action as he looks to right the wrongs from the back-to-back defeats. Now, Moore was initially disappointed to feel the need to postpone Saturday's scheduled clash against Shrewsbury Town due to a combination of international call-ups and injuries. Of course, injuries to Tulloch, Lakilo, Reece James, and of course the international call-ups of Joseph Bursick, Tyrese John-Jules, and of course Danny Amos. And Liam Ravenhill as well, he's been called up to Northern Ireland's under-21 squad, so big congratulations to Liam Ravenhill. But now he welcomes the opportunity to work with his players in depth on the training ground after significant issues arose from the losses to Wigan Athletic and Oldham Athletic in the EFL Trophy and the league respectively. Now he said to the Free Press in terms of official comments, I'm delighted to have it really, it just gives me the opportunity to work. And when you have moments like this, the only way you do it is work on the training pitch. With no game over the next 10 days, I'm able to have longer sessions and stay more on point I want to get across to the group. To have video sessions and look back on things, to replicate certain sessions 2 or 3 times so the message is clear. It gives me some time, some good time, to spend with them before we get into the busy programme, and there's no other areas we can work on in the game, but also on improvements that we want to see from the last 2 games. The 10 days gives you the opportunity to do that when you're not trying to sandwich things between Saturdays and Tuesdays. We've spoken about it after the game. It won't be a time to rest, it'll be a time to work and focus on the time that we wouldn't have had. So there we go. That is Darren Moore's comment about the welcome break. And you know what? I completely agree with that. I definitely think what we're looking at here is, a really, great looking story. from the Free Press reporting on this. It's good for them to report on this because Darren Moore coming out to the Free Press again and saying this is just going to show that we've got a good manager that tells us exactly what's going on. And he's, and the old saying is, actions are better than words. But hopefully, the work that they do in training over the next 10 days will show in the match against Portsmouth because, Marcus Harness is a danger threat for Portsmouth, but they are still there to be got at. They can still be got at. So I reckon we could be still looking here at a good victory if we knuckle down these next 10 days and get the work done. Now, there are some players that need to improve, some players that need more time on the bench, some players that I think could just get back on form, that I think have always been great and just need that back on form mentality. And that's the big thing with me, the mental strength, because one thing we've lacked in so far is mental strength. We concede a goal, we fall apart. And that can't be our mentality, especially for playing fluent attacking football. If we lose that, what's our next game plan? So we need to be having that fluent attacking football, and if we concede a goal, we don't fall apart mentally, we don't lose our strength in depth, we don't lose our strength in heads, and we have the mental capacity to go a goal down and then go 3 or 4 or 5 goals up and make their defence look weak as anything. So I think that the opponents, Portsmouth and other opponents further down the lines in this particular month, they're all there to be got at. So I think it's going to be very, very, very interesting to see what's going to happen with all of this. So I think that we've got a potentially good-looking month coming ahead of us in terms of schedule, especially if we can get win after win after win now. We can start getting back on a winning run. So it's going to be a welcome break for Darren Moore. Hopefully these next 10 days are going to be hard-working, and it is going to be an interesting watch. This final story comes from the Free Press and the right-back Charlie Seaman and Darren Moore's comments about the future of this brilliantly looking future right-back. Now, this right-back signed a 1-year deal, don't forget, with Rovers the last week before switching to National League South Maidstone on a season-long loan. Of course, he scored for them in their Saturday victory over Welling United. Now, Rovers inserted the option into his contract by extending his deal by another year and also have the ability to call him back from his loan if required. Despite the distance, Moore wants the 21-year-old to feel part of the group and is also keen for him to be aware of what will be required for him if he gets the opportunity to feature for Rovers. Now, of course, the comments from Darren Moore officially state, if the opportunity presents itself and under the guidelines where we're at now, hopefully there are going to be times and opportunities where we can get him back for a couple of days and get him in the building. Let him rub shoulders with the players for us to see him and let him get a feel for the group and very much feel part of the team, the club and everything else. If the opportunity is right, I'd definitely welcome him back to keep my eyes on him and let him feel part of the setup. We're really pleased to have Charlie Dunnan over the line. We feel that we've got a young, talented right back, certainly one for the future. And Charlie Seaman is here on the show to talk with me about those comments right now. I mean, listening to those comments from a brilliant man like Darren Moore, Charlie, I mean, that's got to feel, very exciting that you're one for the future according to your manager for next season.
Yeah, 100%. It's like I said in my first interview I done with the club, to hear a manager say that he wants to improve you and he sees you in future plans, whenever that may be, whether or not that's this season, at some point next season, or even further on in the future. It's kind of all you need to hear as a young player. Obviously, I want to play as well as I can at Maidstone. For me, it's a great thing to hear, definitely, especially from a manager like him. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very exciting comments. We spoke a little bit about Maidstone at the start of the show. Of course, during the first loan spell you were at Maidstone, as well as other clubs like Eastleigh and Dundee United, you were with the mighty AFC Bournemouth, who are of course now in the Championship, and you were under the management of Eddie Howe, despite being loaned out a few times. How did it feel at Bournemouth? I mean, you've been there, 5 years before being released for Doncaster Rovers, so it must have felt great to be at Bournemouth in those 5 years.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've still got friends there that I'll have for a lifetime. In terms of that side of it, I grew a lot as a player, massively, in terms of probably more so off the pitch than on the pitch, to be honest. But even on the pitch, a lot of my attributes that I have now, I've tried to tweak and improve so that I can use them to my advantage better. Working under managers like Eddie Howe and the first team staff and the under-23 staff, you're learning new things every day. So the last 4 years for me were like a brilliant platform to whatever I was going to go into in the future, whether or not that was if I stayed at Bournemouth or like what's happened now, if I got released and moved on to somewhere else. I know that last 4 years would stand me in good stead for wherever I went. So it's definitely a great platform for me, 100%.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And a big sort of opinion around the Donny fans at the minute is that you could be a very exciting talent. In fact, you are a very exciting talent. And of course, the main person you're competing with next season for a place is, of course, Brad Halliday, who's just shown fantastic signs in a Rovers shirt. And, you know, no matter what the competition is, no matter what it is, it's still going to be a team effort. And we know that we're pushing as a club towards the Premier League. We know we've got ownership to back that up and a manager that's going to back that up. I mean, do you bring on the challenge of, you know, promotion to the Championship and maybe even pushing for promotion to the Premier League in a few years' time?
Of course. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, like, it's a team at the end of the day. Like, so for me now, it's just about, while I'm at Maidstone, showing what I can do. So, like I said, if I am called for whatever reason, I am ready. But at the end of the day, like you said, it is a team. And I want what's best for the team. And obviously, like I said, they're doing amazing at the moment. Some really good results. And they're playing really well. So it's good to see. Like, I follow every game. So for me, I'm happy to see that they're doing well. So that's all that matters at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we had the 2 back-to-back defeats against Wigan and Oldham, but I've got no doubt that Darren Moore, like I said in that first story today, guys, over the next 10 days, you know, he's going to work with the squad ready for the game against Portsmouth. And finally, Charlie, just to get your opinions on this, because of course, you know, this is a big thing around the EFL, and you know, obviously we had the stuff with non-league before the start of the season. The EFL putting the petition out there to get fans back in the stadiums. Now, I know, you know, we don't want to go on the politics side of things because it's politics. That's politics. Football is football. But you know, hopefully when the fans get back in, if the fans do get back in, it will be a welcome boost for the football teams. But do you think, in your opinion, that there should be an extra source of revenue as well as ticket turnstiles like the Premier League has with the sponsorships and the advertising deals and the TV packages?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's probably easier to see firsthand when you're in and around football your whole life, but the amount of things that bringing fans into games actually brings, it's not just about revenue, it's not just about the crowd boost, it's about so many different things. When you're down 1-0, when you're down 2-0, when you're down 3-0, having that crowd to drive you. And then when you're winning 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, to have that crowd to keep you going to the end, to make sure you secure that victory. You've got that side of it. Obviously, you've got the revenue side of it, which every single club, no matter what they're going through, are struggling with. Obviously, you've got a few clubs that are doing all right, but there's a lot of clubs, the further down you go with the leagues, that are struggling without the fans and the money it brings in. So, yeah, it'd be brilliant. I mean, for me personally, like you said, without going into the politics side, I think for every footballer that plays at a good level, you want to see fans in there. You want to have that support behind you, especially with how long we've gone now. Like pre-season, normally you don't have fans anyway. It's normally behind closed doors, so you get used to it. But once you break into that season, you want to see fans there screaming your name, screaming the team, helping the team. And to not have that for example, the first game the other day, it was just a bit eerie. It's a bit of a dry atmosphere, and it's very hard for players to create their own atmosphere where the crowd does it itself. So yeah, it'd be brilliant to have them back in, and I think hopefully if it happens soon, then it'll be a great thing for football. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Charlie, thank you very, very much for coming on the Daily Reports show today. Massive thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you guys for watching this episode of the DRFC Daily Reports. This is, of course, our daily series. So, you know, of course, Moore's comments about the welcome break, very, very good. Robbie Gotts, will we sign him? Is he a good fit? Is he a better fit at Swindon and Huddersfield? Obviously, we'll have to see. He's a very exciting talent. And, of course, Charlie's comments, very, very exciting. And, you know, he's very excited to join the club. So very, very good stuff from Rovers, bringing him over the line and what he's doing at Maidstone at the minute. And of course, you know, the comments about Darren Moore just resonates what Charlie said just there. So thank you very much, guys, for watching today's episode of the DRFC Daily Reports. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode. Of course, no match preview tomorrow because, of course, our Shrewsbury match has been postponed. So we will be facing off against Portsmouth next weekend, so I'll do a match preview for that. But do not forget, guys, tonight I have my review of England versus Wales in international competitions. So that is part of our brand new England series. So stay tuned for that. And for now, guys, I am the CHALL. Big thank you to my guest, Charlie Seaman. And for now, guys, have an awesome day.